Good evening, everyone. I'm Neelima. I have done BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from RJKT Moosewave, and I have given GATE in 2014 and secured rank 57. And then have been to IIT Mumbai and joined the stream Microelectronics and VLSI. And later on, with the same GATE rank, I have applied for Junior Executive in Airports Authority of India, and I've secured the job. And currently, I'm working there as assistant manager. And coming to the hobbies, I usually read books or either do gardening among others. And okay, let me tell my motivation behind giving GATE. To be honest, maybe because of not having the appropriate guidance, just because we were the first batch, so we do not have seniors, just like you have. I do not completely know all the abundant opportunities that are available out there, which we can leverage because of GATE. My only motivation behind giving GATE was, in third year, what happened was I just have taken the previous year question paper of 2013, and I have tried to attempt it. And what I felt was it was very much in line with the academic curriculum which was being followed in RJKT, and I felt it easy. And then after that, I tried to understand whatever the opportunities are there in after securing a rank in GATE with the ECE stream, and that was the reason I have given GATE. And, okay, friends, like just like anything big needs a strategy and planning, it's the same with GATE. So for the easiness of explanation, I have divided the stages of our preparation into 5. And I'll get into the details of each stage in the next slide. Just let me tell you each. The first is the initial assessment, where you test yourself where you stand in the understanding levels of the basics and fundamentals of the stream. And next is the planning, where you analyze all the previous year questions and the syllabus, and then you try to figure out a plan and allot time accordingly to each subject. And next is the learning stage, the big stage, where you should acquire knowledge. You should have the concept clarity, and this is where you execute all the plan which you have done, all the planning which you have done in your previous stage. So if you fail in this stage, it means you have failed in the previous stage too. So this is the big stage. And next is revise and recall, and this forms an important part, because unless revised, whatever you learned, you'll not be able to express it in your examination. And there comes the mock test. Mohan has told from his experience the importance of mock tests and practice. So it forms an integral part and an important part in the overall strategy. So now let's get into the details of each stage. So I just want to point out or emphasize the importance of previous year question paper. Just if you see the slide, you can see previous year question paper in almost every stage of the complete preparation. And in the initial assessment, like once you start, like once you're ready, or once you're prepared that you're going to give GATE, then the first thing you need to do is initial assessment. Like this is what which tells you where you stand in the understanding levels. So just as Mohan said, you already have to be clear enough in all the subjects, because it's already included in E2 and E3. So this initial assessment you can do in the final stage of E3 or in the earlier stage of E4 also. But in the second year and third year, you should certainly focus on all the subjects equally, and you should be clear with the basics. And if you're clear with the basics, by the time you start preparing for the GATE, it would make your preparation so easier that even in the exam, you don't feel that you're giving an exam. It will be just like any other mock test or practice test or the CAT which you're giving in the college. Okay. So I just want to, like, how I assessed myself after giving a previous year question paper. I'm just making it more subjective. Like, for example, after you have given the you just select one previous year question paper, either of the earlier year or the earlier years, anyone. Just sit down for 3 hours, and give the exam just like you give it in the examination center, and take the key, correct your answers, and then count the marks and keep it aside. Now see, if you are able to answer at least, like, if you are able to answer some 50% of the questions accurately, then you are going to excel it. Like, it means that you have already done enough hard work in your E2 and E3, and it's going to be an easy sail in the coming months. And if you're and the second classification what I did was, if you are able to identify the questions, if you're able to recall the concept, but you are unable to answer the questions accurately, then it just means that you have to brush up your basics. That's all. So there's no need to worry. And the third classification which I felt was, if you're able to, if the questions are familiar to you, but you're unable to recall, and so then what you have to do is you have to put a bit more hard work. And if you are not even familiar with most of the questions, then I think you have to start it from the scratch. And this is the initial assessment which you have to done and which you have to do. And this is very important too, just to analyze yourself, so that you this actually decides your the next stage, the planning, how you need to plan for the next coming months. So there comes the planning stage. Here what you have to do is you have to sit down, take the previous year question papers, syllabus, and now what you can do is you have to accord, like, you have to see and analyze the weightage given to each subject in each year. Okay, and yeah, this is one generalized weightage which I have shown in the PPT. The 8 core subjects will have 70% weightage, and engineering maths 15% and aptitude 15%. And I have seen the previous 10-year question papers. Each of the 8 core subjects will carry an average of 8 to 10%. So, like, there are certain years where digital circuits were given just 5% of weightage. There are certain years where EMT is given just 3-4% of weightage. But this should not be considered because we don't know what is going to be this year. So on an average, every subject will carry some 8 to 10%. So you can give an equal importance to everything. However, the approach varies. The approach varies depending upon the type of the subject, depending upon I'll let you know the approach to each subject in the next few minutes. Like, you can classify the subjects. What I did while during my preparation was, I have classified the subjects into 3 categories. The first category includes networks, signals and systems, control systems, and digital circuits. If you look into these 4 subjects, what you can see is that all the 4 subjects are more mathematical and they demand less concept understanding. So they turn into easier subjects when compared with the rest of the subjects. So these are the things, like, you should remember this one point while you're going through these 4 subjects. What you should do is, like, you should keep in mind that if at all any question which comes from these 4 subjects in your examination, you should be damn sure to answer that question, because these are easier than rest. Okay, you should not leave any scope. You should not leave any unturned stone in these 4 subjects. And in the next category falls communication, analog circuits, and EDC. And these 3 are more concept oriented than the earlier category. However, less difficult than the third category, which involves EMT. So these your orientation towards these subjects would be much regarding the concept building, and the same is with EMT. So depending on its difficulty, depending on your approach, you can allot the time accordingly to each of these categories. Okay, and yeah, while planning your time, what you can do is you can follow a retrospective timetable. By retrospective, what I mean is, for example, if you're going to have the exam in the first few days of February, so leave the February. Then in January, you will be only giving full length mock tests. In December, you will be only doing revision and you will be giving subject-wise mock tests. So by November, your preparation should be complete. Like you should have your basics cleared. You'll have to touch each and every subject by November itself. So accordingly, you have to start your preparation much before, like some 8 months before the gate. What I have done is I have allotted some 15 to 20 days for each subject. So 8 core subjects, 8 core subjects plus engineering maths into 15 out to 6 months, 4.5 to 6 months. So accordingly, you also allot the time depending, like if you I have started my preparation like after the end of my 3rd year, like in July of 4th year. So I was having like enough amount of time, but not too large. If you are clear on your goal and if you're going to start it quite earlier, you will have more time which you can allot to each subject, so you can have more clarity on each concept. So there comes the learning stage, and this is the important stage. Here, your main focus should be on having fundamentals completely clear. I'll just tell you one thing why your fundamentals should be clear. Like why your fundamentals should be totally clear. Like if you are half baked, if you are not clear on your fundamentals, what can happen? One case is in the examination, if there is any question, you will not be able to answer. The other case is more dangerous than the first one. What happens in the second case is you will try to answer, but the answer would be inaccurate. This will cause huge loss because every negative, like every incorrect answer will carry negative marking. So just make sure that every fundamental, each formula, each theorem, you should understand it in very detailed thing. Okay, and just as Mohan has highlighted in the earlier discussion that since we anyways follow the NPTEL videos and we make notes of it, we are already availed with abundance of information just before us. So you just have to make sure that you have clarity on each and every topic. And in this learning stage, I just mentioned keynotes. What this keynotes means is when you started a subject and just when you take a topic, once you finish the topic, what you can do is you can make note of every formula, every theorem, statement, or every important point in these keynotes. So the primary use of these keynotes is you use these keynotes just on the day before your exam. Like you should not have your notes before you. You should not have your previous year questions. You should not refer to all these just before the day of your exam. On the day of your on the night before your exam date, you just need to refer these keynotes. It should hardly be some 10-20 pages. I don't remember exactly, some 10-20 pages for each subject. That's all. And these keynotes should be updated in your further stages also while you're attempting your mock test. So there comes the revise and recall stage, where what you do here is once you have done, one more point I wish to emphasize during the learning stages, once you finish a subject and then you start the second subject, what you have to do is while you do the second subject, you should allot time for revising the first one, because more the time gap between your first read and revision, more is the chance that you forget the thing. Okay, so you actually revise during the learning stage also. However, this is where you exclusively revise. By revising, what I mean in this revise and recall stage, by revising, what I mean is don't just say that you have to reread the notes you have prepared. I don't say that you have to reread key you have prepared. What I mean is you have to practice. For GATE particularly, revising means practicing. Means you give the question, like you take a question paper, you attempt to answer the questions, you try to answer it. If you are able to answer it, then well and good. If you are unable to answer it, then you go to the topic and you refer the topic, and then you come again and you try to solve the question. This is what revising means in GATE examination. And while you try to solve subject-wise tests or topic-wise tests in this stage, what you can do is, like while practicing and while attempting the questions, you can find few important questions which you have never thought of, like which you have never come across before while analyzing previous year questions, or something new which has struck your mind. So what you do is you make note of everything, every kind of these things in your keynotes. And next comes the mock test. And here in mock test stage, you can give the full length test. I think like in RGUGate itself, like in line with the academic curriculum itself, you can give at least two tests, or if two are not possible, at least one test every day before the exam. So while you are giving the exam, just like Mohan has emphasized, you have to close every book. You just have to make your environment like an examination hall, and you give the exam, take the key, correct your answers, and give the marks. Like include the negative marks also and give the marks. Like you can do this process, and apart from this, what you can do with previous year question papers during this stage is you can take questions from a topic. You can brainstorm them. Like you can think of various ways in which a question can be framed from the same formula, from the same theorem, from the same concept. So that it would be easier when you go to the examination hall if you find some question what you have already framed. And yeah, in like during this mock stage, there are three things which you have to keep in your mind. One is concept clarity, the number two is revision, and number three is negative marks. By this, what I mean is, while writing your test, once there is some incorrectly answered question, you go to the concept, refer the concept, and then come and try the question again. By this, you can build your concept clarity, and by the same way, you might have revised the topic too. And by negative marks, what I mean is, like just before the date of the examination, the final days, what happens is your marks would get saturated. Like initially, when like after the complete preparation of my thing, when I have started giving full length mock tests, I have initially secured some 58, and then it started saturating later on. So what I felt I could only do is, the only possible thing before me is I can reduce the negative marking. So by negative marks, I mean you have to restrain attempting the questions which you're not sure of, because this restraint would come only by practice. If you have not done this during your preparation itself, it would be very difficult while attempting the gate in the examination hall in the real-time stress amidst all those things. So restraining comes by practice, and you have to do this before your exam at least for 10 tests, so that your negative marking will reduce, and finally you'll get the marks which you wish for. And this is all.